Welcome to the Deep Dive. You're here because, well, you want to get a solid grip on business language fast without getting lost in all the jargon.
Exactly. You want the important stuff delivered clearly.
So let's get right to it.
Today, we're really cutting through the noise. We're focusing on the essential vocabulary, the phrases that you actually hear and use in the business world. And we've got some great source material here, dialogues and explanations designed to build confidence. We're pulling out the best bits for you.
Right. Think of this as your faster track to feeling comfortable in business talks, whether you're, starting something new or working in a big company.
Yeah.
We'll pinpoint key terms, break down how they're used in a typical conversation, look at the language itself, and even give you some solid tips for, well, success.
Our goal really is to equip you with practical language, stuff you can use right away in different business situations.
Okay.
So let's start with some key vocabulary. But we're going a bit deeper than just the dictionary definitions.
Good. Okay, let's unpack this. First up, entrepreneur. Now, we know it means someone starting their own business, managing it.
Right.
But it's more than that, isn't it? It's that mindset, the willingness to take a risk, innovate, see something others don't.
Absolutely. It's that drive. The source gives the example. She's an entrepreneur who opened a successful online store. But like you said, it's not just opening the store. It's the whole package, the initiative.
Yeah, the engine behind it. And that connects to startup, right?
It does. A new company, often built around a fresh idea or product.
Usually tech-focused, maybe.
Often, yeah. And startup kind of implies a certain phase,
Yeah.
High growth potential, but also uncertainty, risk.
The example fits. I've always wanted to work for a startup company in technology. It points to that dynamic, maybe slightly chaotic environment.
Exactly. It's different from just a small local business. It's often about scaling up, disrupting something.
Okay. Next, budget. The money plan.
Yeah.
How much you've got for what?
But it's not just a spreadsheet, is it?
Yeah, definitely not. It shows what's important strategically, what you have to choose between. It's active. You manage it.
Right. It's a living thing. The example they use is, we need to stick to the budget if we want to finish the project on time. That really hits the nail on the head.
It shows the constraints, managing those resources.
And speaking of time, deadline, the final date, the drop-dead point.
Seems simple.
The word is simple, but the reality, there's pressure, coordination involved, especially when teams are working together.
Yeah. We need to submit the report by the deadline. Straightforward, but it underlines, time management, accountability. It's crucial.
Absolutely.
And lastly, for this first batch, client, the customer, the person or company buying your stuff.
But again, there's nuance. It's often more than just one transaction.
Right. It's about building trust, figuring out what they need, maybe creating long-term value, a relationship.
The example points to that. Our company has several loyal clients who trust our products. Loyalty, trust, those are key.
So entrepreneur, startup, budget, deadline, client. Foundational for sure.
Definitely. And understanding those deeper layers is what really helps. Now let's see how these actually, sound in a real conversation.
Okay, this is where it gets practical. Our source has this short dialogue. Two colleagues, just talking about work. Let's hear it.
Okay. So colleague 1 says, "Hey, have you finished the report for the client yet?"
And colleague 2 replies, "Not yet. I'm working on the final details. I should be done by tomorrow."
Then colleague 1, "Okay, make sure to double check the budget section. We don't want any mistakes."
Colleague 2, of course. I also think we should set a meeting with the client to discuss the next steps.
And finally, colleague 1, "Sounds good. Let's schedule that meeting for next week."
Short and sweet. Very typical office exchange, right? Quick updates.
Very typical. What jumps out at you from the language here?
Well, that first question, have you finished yet? It's direct. Gets straight to the point. Standard project update stuff.
It is standard, efficient. Though sometimes maybe a slightly more open question could uncover issues earlier. Just a thought.
That's interesting. Yeah, maybe like, how's the report coming along?
Yeah.
Instead.
Could be. And the response, "Not yet. I'm working on the final details." That phrase, final details, is classic.
It is, isn't it? It signals you're close, but without, like, a hard promise that might backfire. Gives a little buffer.
Exactly. It's pragmatic. And then the suggestion, set a meeting with the client to discuss the next steps. That's proactive.
Yeah, it shows they're thinking ahead, managing the client relationship like we talked about, keeping things aligned.
Precisely. It connects right back to building that longer-term thing with the client.
So even in this tiny exchange, there are layers. It's not just the words, but the strategy behind them, how you communicate.
Paying attention to that is really important. Okay, so moving beyond just this one dialogue, what are some questions you hear all the time in business?
Ah, yes. Knowing the common questions helps you stay oriented, right?
Definitely. The source lists a few good ones, like, what's the deadline for this project? You need to know that.
Essential. Can't plan without it.
Or, can you send me the report by the end of the day? Happens all the time. Need for speed.
Information flow.
Then, bigger picture. How can we improve customer service? Always looking to get better, focusing on the client.
Good one. And the classic. Do we have the budget for this?
Always. The money question. Financial reality check.
And inevitably, can we reschedule the meeting? Because things change, schedules clash.
It happens. Flexibility. So asking these kinds of questions helps you, keep things organized, keep projects moving.
They're not just questions, they're tools, really, for
Yeah.
getting information, driving things forward, making sure everyone's aligned.
Well put.
Yeah.
Tools. Okay, so to add a few more tools to our kit, what about some other key business terms?
Yeah, let's broaden the vocabulary a bit more.
Right. First, proposal. This is usually a formal plan or suggestion. You write one to pitch an idea, maybe win some new business, or get internal sign-off.
Okay, like a detailed plan of action.
Exactly. Then revenue. That's the total income a business generates from its sales. The top line number shows the scale.
Got it. Income before costs are taken out.
Right. Then there's marketing. This is a big one. It's everything involved in promoting and selling, advertising, branding, research, all of it.
The whole effort to connect with customers and drive sales.
And partnership. That's when two or more companies or entities team up. They work together on something, leverage each other's strengths.
Makes sense. Collaboration for mutual benefit.
And finally, conference. A big meeting. Professionals get together, share ideas, learn, network, industry gatherings.
Right. So knowing terms like proposal, revenue, marketing, partnership, conference,
Yeah,
it helps you understand the bigger strategic conversations.
absolutely. You can engage more confidently.
Okay, now, for people who really want to, not just understand, but actually do well in business, the source had some practical tips. Let's get into those.
Yeah, some bonus tips for success. First one, plan ahead. Seems obvious, but having a clear strategy, even for small things, keeps you on track.
Sets direction, avoids just reacting all the time.
Exactly. Second, stay organized. Managing your time, your info, the budget client needs. It's crucial for just getting things done right. We saw that with the budget check in the dialogue.
Yeah, prevents mistakes, keeps things efficient.
Third tip, and it's huge, communicate clearly. Not just using the right jargon, but listening well, being concise, making sure people actually understand you.
So important. Avoids misunderstandings, keeps projects flowing.
And the last one, be flexible. Things change constantly in business, right? Plans get disrupted. Being able to adapt is key.
You have to roll with the punches sometimes.
You really do. So these tips together, they kind of emphasize that business success isn't just about being smart yourself.
Right. It's about teamwork, strategy, organization, adapting.
And keeping focused on the goals. Effective collaboration.
Okay, so let's wrap up this deep dive. We've covered some core business vocabulary, entrepreneur, startup, budget, deadline, client.
We looked at how those words and others pop up in a real dialogue. Analyzed some of the phrases.
We highlighted some common questions you'll likely ask or be asked, tools for navigating business.
And added more useful terms like proposal, revenue, marketing. Broadened the toolkit.
There finally those practical tips. Plan, organize, communicate, be flexible.
Yeah, and understanding this language, these principles, it's genuinely valuable for anyone involved in business in any way.
It really is. Clear business English is an asset. It lets you navigate things with more confidence, more impact.
It's not just about knowing the definitions, right? It's understanding the context, how to use the language strategically.
Absolutely.
So this deep dive gives you a solid foundation. Now maybe think about how these terms, these ideas connect with what you do or what you want to do.
Yeah. Where can you apply this? Which parts feel most relevant to your situation or your interests?
That's where the real learning clicks in. Taking it from here and making it your own.